Good morning, everyone. On this Thursday, in the third week in Ordinary Time, not Ordinary Time, Easter time, we have our readings that we've been doing through the book of Acts, and we're in chapter 8, verses 26 through 40. The angel of the Lord spoke to Philip, "Get up and head south on the road that goes down from Jerusalem to Gaza, the desert route." So he got up and set out. Now there was an Ethiopian eunuch, a court official of Candace, that is the queen of the Ethiopians, in charge of her entire treasury, who had come to Jerusalem to worship and was returning home. Seated in his chariot, he was reading the prophet Isaiah. The Spirit said to Philip, "Go and join up with that chariot." Philip ran up and heard him reading Isaiah the prophet and said, "Do you understand what you are reading?" He replied, "How can I, unless someone instructs me?" So he invited Philip to get in and sit with him. This was the scripture passage he was reading. Like a sheep, he was led to the slaughter, and as a lamb before his shearer is silent. So he opened not his mouth. In his humiliation, justice was denied him. Who will tell of his prosperity? For his life is taken from the earth. Then the eunuch said to Philip in reply, "I beg you, about whom is the prophet saying this? About himself or about someone else?" When Philip opened his mouth and beginning with this scripture passage, he proclaimed Jesus to him. As they traveled along the road, they came to some water, and the eunuch said, "Look, there is some water. What is to prevent my being baptized?" Then he ordered the chariot to stop, and Philip and the eunuch both went down into the water, and he baptized him. And when he came out of the water, the Spirit of the Lord snatched Philip away, and the eunuch saw him no more, but continued on his way rejoicing. Philip came to Azotus and went about proclaiming the good news to all the towns until he reached Caesarea. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. Well, here we have one of those Hellenistic Jewish deacons who are proclaiming the good news of Jesus, and by the Spirit is given instruction, go on the road to Gaza. And there, on the way as he's going there, finds this Ethiopian eunuch. Now, obviously, this Ethiopian eunuch is well-educated. The fact that he has a scroll and he's able to read scripture is quite remarkable in and of itself. He is a non-Jewish person, obviously, and a eunuch, so he's disbarred from going inside the temple, but he's in the outer court for the Gentiles, but he is attracted to the faith of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Even though perhaps in his home country, people are worshiping all kinds of different gods, he is very much intrigued by the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and wants to be a part of it, and wants to learn about it. And so here he is reading from the book of Isaiah. So reading here, obviously, as he's reading it, he's saying it. He's proclaiming it. That's how he would read. And so the nice question comes from Philip, is saying, "Do you understand what you're reading?" And he says, "No, unless someone interprets it." So he says, "Come on in to the chariot and explain to me, what am I reading about? This passage in Isaiah, who is this? Was it about Isaiah himself, or is it for someone else?" It was a golden opportunity for Philip then to say, "No, this is about Jesus." He was foretelling about Jesus. And so he started sharing with him through the scriptures about who Jesus is, the promised one. And it was the Ethiopian that says, "Well, here's some water. What prevents me from being baptized, being part of this new covenant that is available?" And so Philip and him go into the water, and immediately Philip is snatched and is sent on mission again. Isn't that an interesting way for a missionary to go? Just allow the Spirit to move you very quickly to where it needs to go. But that Ethiopian has a whole new life. Now, the book of Isaiah later on, I believe it's in chapter 56, will talk about the eunuch and those, I don't know if it mentions Ethiopia, I think some of the Psalms do, of them coming into this covenant community through the Messiah. And here we have it happening in real life. And it continues to happen as more and more folks from outside the sphere of just the Jewish people in Jerusalem, but now to the uttermost parts, are now also coming to know Jesus. It's a wonderful experience here. So I hope you see the greatness of how God's gospel message gets to the ends of the earth. I may play some YouTube video on there just to kind of show you the beauty of, of God's work here in the world. Stay safe. Hopefully we'll see each other soon. Bye for now.